Yeah, initially that's what I was going to do. Was just to catch up for the last few weeks until yesterday. I think it was yesterday actually. What's today? Saturday.
Today is Saturday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. I just by chance I was listening to Tim Pool and from I think Thursday night, and his guest like canceled, and they didn't find out like 20 minutes before the show. So they're like, "Oh shit!" So they had a couple people that lived in the area that were figures. One was on social media, and she does a lot of deep dives into like private equity and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So she came on. She ended up coming in like an hour after they started. And another guy was a pro skateboarder, and Tim Pool's into skateboarding and stuff.
Who was it? Because there's really only one pro skater that matters to me.
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, he had a skateboarder on, and they were talking about they were really briefly talking about like the state of like skateboarding. Like the culture is still alive.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But the industry is fucking dead.
Oh yeah.
So we were talking a little bit about that, but mostly when they go on like Tim Pool IRL, it's like it's like this topical news, and they have guests come in, they talk about the news. Whereas like his Culture War show, they'll have someone come on and they'll just kind of more loosely bullshit about stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So they had him come on, and this what is it? Tiffany
Clancy.
Cianci?
Oh, that's an I?
Yeah.
Cianci.
She's Italian.
Cianci.
She came on and like showed up like an hour in, and you can look at like the comments here. What are you doing? Going down, like this film the guest is freaking smart. She just unexpected guest, best, awesome. Have her back on the Culture War. Lady should be full time. You gotta hire her. Like she goes into finance, like personal equity and finance, and does deep dives on different things. And she brought up a thing on Joanne Fabrics and Big Lots and stuff like that, like going under. And a lot of people, including myself, was like, wow, that was fucking out of nowhere, right?
Yeah. It really did come as a shock.
Yeah, and no one really thought much about it, including myself. Other than that, I was like, well, there's a lot of businesses going under, which kind of tells you the time we're in right now. I was like, oh shit, everything's failing. There's another one. Until she started going down like why it's failing. And the more she got into it, and the more I like started like kind of branch off looking things up, like, wait a minute, what's this? And I was like, this should be fucking news above everything else. Like, this is bigger than everything else they're throwing out there. This is how you know that shit, like, oh, the JFK files are being dropped. Like, this is distraction bullshit. Like, because
I've always said that.
Everybody's always said. Anyone who's always looked at stuff like this is always. But this is one of those instances where it's like, I think I might have found one of the things they're distracting from. Like, one of the actual, like, this should be fucking top news, covered by everybody, and it's not. And even she, when she was describing like what's going on here, was like, I can't be the first one to figure this out and discover this, like outside of people in financial institutions. So that tells you right there is like, nobody's fucking talking about this, and why.
What is this?
So in regards, I had to write like, this is pretty much all one topic. Bear with me. We're going to have a little bit of a financial lesson here, a lecture, because you're going to need to know some of these terms to understand, oh shit, what the fuck? So, the question is, what happened to Joanne Fabrics? What happened to Big Lots? What happened to, what are some of the other ones there? Forever 21, Party
Hooters.
City.
There's been a lot of businesses.
There's a shit ton of them. Like, big ones.
Red Lobster closed like thousands of restaurants.
Yeah, restaurants too. They're right. So
every facet of the corporate America
Banks too. Banks
Yeah.
are failing. Like the more banks have failed in the last 6 months or so this year than last year combined. You don't hear about that either. But so, and Joann Fabrics. So I'm going to focus on Joann Fabrics.
Okay.
But just kind of take this across the board for a lot of these companies. Joann Fabrics, since COVID, had over 9 million new customers. Okay? Because in COVID, what the fuck are you going to do?
Yeah.
A lot of people
they picked up hobbies.
Right. So they had a shit ton of new customers. 97% of their stores were cash positive. They were making money. And then suddenly, bankruptcy, and they're all going out of business. What the fuck happened? So then she started deep dive into it. And she says, think of 2008 during the recession. So 2008 was the housing market crash.
Yeah.
When everyone is they were giving out loans to the housing, mortgages and loans to people who had no fucking business having a mortgage, at all. So what has been going on is in the last, evidently, 6-7 years, private equity firms. So a private equity firm is, or a private equity company is often described as a financial sponsor, is an investment management company that provides financial backing and makes investments in the private equity of a startup or an existing operating company with the end goal of making a profit on its investments. The target companies are generally privately owned entities, not publicly traded, but on rare occasions, a private equity firm may purchase a majority of publicly listed companies, like stocks.
Yeah, which would give them control and power.
Yeah, when then they get positions on the board, and then can basically force changes, like delisting them, like it says here, delisting the firm after it's purchased, so making it no longer public. So then when you make if for anyone who doesn't know, if you are the difference between influencing a publicly traded company versus a private company is when you make changes in a publicly traded company, you now are at the hest of all the people that own shares in that company. So if you do something that torches that company, all those people that own shares, now you are affecting their money. So that's why a lot of these publicly traded companies won't make these crazy changes or stuff, because you are now affecting a whole bunch of other investors, which they could drop the company, tank your stock, and now you're out money. So you have to be really careful about doing that. Privately, you own the stock. Or not even stock. You own the company. So when you make a change, that's it. Your change is what it is.
Real quick, something I've learned, sad but true, because I'm in the trucking industry. I've learned comparatively between in the trucking industry that I'm in the genre of trucking that I'm in. I've learned the difference between privately owned, and publicly owned when it comes to broadcasting, in a sense,
right?
For lack of a better term. And what I mean by that is, with a publicly traded company, everything is open. You can't keep secrets. You shouldn't keep secrets. Every decision that's made, every dollar that's spent is supposed to be reported. Every month, every dollar dollar gained, every dollar lost. No matter what's going on, as a publicly traded company, it has to be out there for people to find.
Yes.
When it comes to privately, you don't have to report anything.
No, not to the public.
Not to the public. Exactly. Not to the public.
Yeah. Okay.
Or to your competitors, for that matter.
Right.
In the industry I'm in, there's other businesses that are literally have terminals, we'll call them, all within 10 miles of each other.
Mm.
My company, not 15 miles, so 10 to 20 miles. So my company's here, not 10 to 15 miles away. Here's the red version I'm the green version. Here's the red version. 15 to 20 miles away, here's another green and white version. 10 miles away, here's an orange version. 7 miles away, here's a black and yellow version. And then right dead smack in the middle, here's another red version of this company. We have meetings. Every month we have a sales meeting. And the sales rep comes in and tells us all the numbers. Reports on most of the other companies. And we're always wondering, like, wow, that's crazy. How do we know their numbers? And over the years, I've learned with publicly traded companies, they have to be out there. You have to be able to look up their information.
Right.
You don't have to go out there and say, hey, you, next door neighbor, this is what we're making. No, it's if you want to know, you have to look it up.
Hold that in the back of your head because that will actually come up later in this.
So, and then with the privately owned, like my company is, the company I work for, it's, well, we don't report our numbers. We don't put our numbers down on paper because we don't have to.
No,
I think we have to answer to the government, but we don't have to put our numbers down for our competitors to
the
see.
government and the bank, wherever they might take a loan out from.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. Like,
Yeah.
that's why you'll see a lot of these, like, I will say mid companies, air quotes, like suddenly just, oh, we're closing doors. Like, what? It fucking came out of nowhere.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm not, this is, maybe, tell me if this kind of plays into this. I'm learning that with our private company, we're actually starting to hurt. Even though we're not losing, our competitors are starting to get more. Yeah. We're maintaining a balance.
Right.
We're not gaining or losing, but we're watching the competitor companies start to gain.
Right.
Like when I go to a business and I'm supposed to pick up, on the average, I'm picking up 12 pallets of freight from this one company. 6 months later, I'm picking up 2 pallets. But I also have like 5 more stops of 2 pallets. But this one company is coming in and getting 10, even though they used to never get nothing.
Yeah, that would more have to do with like your competition, like whatever you're shipping. Like that doesn't really play into this.
Okay.
Not direct, not on a grand scale. I mean, that might have.
I didn't know if remaining private, making their own decisions to change things, could inertly. I mean,
sure.
Yeah, could inertly be hurting them.
It might not. I don't know. I would have to. That would be like a topic of like, let's talk about this, company A specifically. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, So in the last 7 years, these private equity firms have stacked $4 trillion in adjustable rate debt on a bunch of these companies, like Party City and whatever. So for adjustable rate. So floating rate debt. So that is a loan or bond where the interest rate fluctuates over time, typically tied to a benchmark interest rate plus a spread. How it works is the interest rate is recalculated periodically over like a 30 to 90 day period. So based on the current benchmark rate, that's agreed upon. Examples of it are floating rate loans can be bank loans or senior loans, leverage loans, or syndicated loans. Benefits for investors are floating rate debt can be attractive to investors and raising interest rate environments as the interest payments increase with rising rates, which is kind of what's been happening over the last year and a half or so. Like especially like a year and a half ago, where interest rates was like 9%.
Yeah, it was up
the
there.
Roof. See,
that was why we were so afraid to buy the house at the time. But we got lucky.
Right. And floating rate debt can be beneficial to borrowers when interest rates drop. Okay. So it changes with interest rates. A mortgage would adjust once a year, whereas these would adjust every 30 to 60 days. Okay, yeah. So each year the failures would double, like in 2008. So that's what they were watching with these businesses. Like each year, like these failing businesses are doubling and they're doubling. There's just more and more and more. Like what the fuck's going on? So the reason why it's compared to 2008. During 2008, a lot of these banks and companies repackaged their debt and sold them off as derivatives and CDOs. CDOs is a collaborative debt obligation. Collaborative debt obligation is when a bank takes a group of like personal loans, mortgages, bank loans for just the average everyday Joe. They consolidate them and sell them as a package to other banks. I don't know if you've noticed this, but in both houses I've bought, within a month or two after buying it through a bank, suddenly you pay your debt to another bank. It happened with this house. and it happened with the last house because they would consult. So who'd you get your it doesn't matter. So that's what a CDO is. Yeah, exactly what I just said.
Oh, yeah.
So, also with a CDO, that will free up capital for that first bank to use to maybe get more. Okay, are you still with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
A year this month.
All right. Yeah, they can free up capital by selling off their debt to other banks. So they okay, we have this money coming in from this person who took out loan A, and this money coming in from this kind of loan, from loan B and C, and so on and so forth, and they sell it to a bank. Now that bank has that coming in plus interest, so that's how they would make their money. Mm-hmm. And now the first bank would be like, okay, well now we have this free capital again from the loans that we lent out, that we got the money immediately back. Now we can do it again, and then maybe sell off again, and so on and so forth. If the bank bundles a pool of mortgages and sells CDOs backed by those mortgages, the investors in the CDOs would receive payments based on the performance of those mortgages. 2008, that's what happened, based on the performance of those mortgages. Again, in 2008, what happened? A bunch of people were like, you're working at a grocery store, making 20 grand a year, all right, part-time. You have little to no credit. A bank comes up to you and be like, hey, you're not making much money. You don't have a credit or good credit or whatever, or any credit. Want a house? What are you going to say? Fuck yeah, I want a house. So?
I don't know, maybe I'm stupid, but I'd been like, well, I can't afford a house, so no.
Well, a lot of people said yes. Clearly, because that's what happened. So when everyone's like, "Oh, the housing bubble, burst," well, that's the reason why this happened, is because banks were doing this, lumping these sums together of these bad mortgages that they had to have known that they were going to tank, sold them off to bigger banks, and then when these interest rates rose because the financial institution was already crumbling right before this happened, they bought them out. Nobody could afford their loans, didn't pay them back. Now these banks had all these loans and all this income that wasn't coming in.
I have a feeling bankruptcy might play a key role in where you're going with this. How many of these people filed bankruptcy because they couldn't pay their loans back, which equated to how much millions of dollars lost?
Billions.
Billions.
Yeah. So, back to today. That was a quick CDO, CMO. A CMO is a collateralized mortgage debt, or obligation rather. Same idea, just mortgages specifically. So now, the debts that are placed on these businesses are called CLOs, which is collateralized loan obligation, which is pretty much the same thing as a CMO or a CDO, except it's more... it's corporate loans instead of mortgages. So big money thing, for stupid terms. Big money. All right. So a corporate loan, also known as commercial loan, are monetary contracts with banks and businesses for various operational needs. They usually are larger than retail loans, and are tailored to specific needs of the business. The purpose for fund business operations, including capital investments, expansion, or working capital. Administrative and operational costs. So it could be payroll or anything like that. Okay?
Yeah.
Which is not, for anyone who doesn't know business, that's not out of the ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of businesses, they operate on loans. It's like you don't see a lot of their own money going back into their business.
Yeah.
So are you with me? I hope everyone's with me still.
No, I'm good. We're good. I'm still on par. Trust me, you'll see it in my face and hear it.
Here's the
jokes.
Here's the sticky part. This is where I went, fucking what? Now, in 2008, banks were buying up banks' loans, right? Yeah. CDOs. Now, pension funds are buying up these CLOs.
Pension funds.
A pension fund is a pool of money typically managed by an employer or a financial institution that is invested to provide retirement income to employees or members. So your pension is controlled by a large conglomerate. Most people's are, okay? These pension funds now are the ones that are buying up these CLOs.
Where are they getting the money from to buy these CLOs?
It's a large bank. It's no different than, well, actually, it's funny you say that because a lot of pension funds, like housing, think Blackstone, who owns like more single family houses in the United States than probably all of them combined. Okay. A large company or a large industry, a large umbrella name, is financed by the Federal Reserve. So basically, basically infinite money. I need this. Print. All right. So that's like at the top.
Yeah.
So these pension funds are starting to buy them up. But it's not the same as Blackstone, where it's just like, we're funded by the Federal Reserve, because they're not. The reason why they're starting to buy up these loans is because, okay, if we buy these CLOs, then that interest and money coming in will help fund us, because it's historically known that pension funds are severely underfunded. And with a lot of people retiring and everything now, they need the money from somewhere because they're not getting it from the government. So they start buying up loans thinking, hey, interest. But the problem is, in the last few years, like I've said before today, past shows, interest rates have just, you can tell by the cost of everything still.
And people can't pay them back.
And that's the fucking problem. We are on a cusp of another, probably more severe than 2008. And it's not going to hit like grocery stores so much as it's going to hit people's fucking retirement. One reason specifically why I was like, well, that's not good. In my old job, I talked to a buddy of mine that worked there. And I said, hey, this is last summer. We ran into him up at Great Escape.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So I got talking to him. It's like, yeah, so how, just kind of tongue in cheek. It's like, how's it down wherever? He goes, well, they froze people's retirements. I'm like, they could do that? I was like, yeah. I'm like, huh. Early warning sign. But this is way before any of this was on my radar, up until yesterday. Now, fast forward to now, they froze people's retirements. Fuck. If this happens, the way it's going, there's going to be a lot of hurting people who thought they were going to have this retirement fund and everything that ain't going to be there. So when everyone's like, oh, your Social Security is going to be run out in 10 years, like pension might be run out in 18 months. So, yeah, in the last 10-ish years, and this is another thing too, this has happened over the last 10 or 12 years. So this isn't like a Biden thing. This is not a Trump thing, because there's Republicans and Democrats that are involved in this. This is way bigger than like this. This is bipartisan. This is across the board. Actually, I would say it's not even a partisan issue. But yeah, so in the last 10-ish years, they've been buying up this debt. Girl Scouts of America, Michigan Employees Union, Southwest Airlines, who is dangerously on the cusp of, within the next year and a half, filing bankruptcy for the same reason, for all the same reason. Michael's, that's another one, that store. So going back to what you were talking about, like having to report your earnings and everything to people. Here's another thing. For a mortgage, when your dividends come up every quarter, you have to report it. So 4 times a year, you're reporting where your earnings are and everything, and whether the interest rates are high This is where we value everything. Interest rates are low. This is where we value everything. Vice versa, whatever. In investment private equity, you record your estimate returns for the next 10 years. Okay? So nobody knows the severity of your, well, the amount of gain you have, capital gain, or the severity of your loss for 10 years, because you make that initial, this is where we think we're going to go. We have this purchase, this CLO or whatever it may be. And we think it's going to go here based on the economy that we're in right now and what the cost of whatever is. So for the next 10 years, you have this number. Now in that 10 years, let's say that value has just, you don't have to say a word. And the next person that gets it is what? The next, whatever it is. Yeah, the pension manager. It gets handed off to the next pension manager. And basically, you touched it last. And now they're stuck with fucking
like a trash stock.
Yes. So the investment firms basically have been strip mining these companies and to dividend profit back to themselves while leaving the companies to pay back debt. That's another thing too, is these firms, these investment firms, basically they borrow money to, like we were saying, get on the board, like for publicly traded companies, force all these changes that make short-term profits and long-term just complete tanks. And then their money is not, the money that is borrowed from the company, that's on the company to pay back, not the firm. So the company fails, the firm's like, I got what I need, and move on. Think AMC and GameStop.
Okay.
That's exactly what that is. The only difference between those two is the regular people got wind of what was going on. It's like they're fucking shorting the stock, squeezing it, and then selling it off. So a shit ton of people bought in, raised the stock, and like, now all these people, these whales that bought this major stock had nothing. And these like Reddit nobodies basically made millions and millions of dollars. That was the regular person interrupting the process. Trump, I guess a few weeks ago, or maybe it was a few weeks into his presidency, this is one where I just didn't have time to fucking go into like even more, because this is something like you can keep branching off and you're like, holy shit, that was enough just right there, I think, for everybody. but
a lot to unload.
It is. And like I was listening to him like, fucking what? As soon as they, like the thing that caught me here was the pension thing. I'm like, wait. And then then the comparison to 2008, I'm like, it's 2008, but the 2008 was with people, just us.
Yeah.
This is with fucking huge industries. I'm like, so we didn't fucking learn our lesson. And the thing that really chaps my ass is in 2008, what happened? People that didn't need a mortgage got a mortgage. They sold these groups of loans off to these bigger banks. Bigger banks took them, lost a shit ton of money. Fuck. Government swoops in and bails them out. And that pissed everybody off, because me and you would not be fucking bailed out if something like that happened to us. And we're like, sorry, Johnny, go fuck yourself.
That's why we have to fucking file bankruptcy when we hit rock bottom.
Exactly.
Because nobody comes in and says, oh, you're having a hard time? Here's $1 million.
And what happened in 2004 with all these fucking bailouts came on? Layoffs, and the goons at the fucking top gave themselves raises. They gave themselves fucking bonuses. And this is not hyperbolic. This is on record. What the fuck?
We lost a great car company from it.
What, Chrysler?
Pontiac.
No, the Chrysler got bought out by Dodge, right?
Chrysler's still yeah. Chrysler's still there. It's owned by Dodge.
Yeah.
Well, Chrysler owns Jeep and Dodge.
Yeah.
It's Chrysler, but whatever. They lost Pontiac.
Yeah. Someone will pat my name, bring it back in 10 years.
Nice.
But yeah, so, and I guess going back to Joann's Fabrics, I guess Hobby Lobby is right now fighting this whole thing. Like they're fighting, like in court, they're fighting this whole like shebang of everything that's going on. So hopefully they win, because
yeah,
but that whole thing came across, and I'm like, why? Again, I was like, this should be fucking, because this affects everybody from a macro to micro scale. Like, why isn't this like page one news? Like, this should be fucking everywhere. And I haven't heard a fucking peep at all about it, other than Big Lots is closing. And again, going back,
It sounds to me almost like when you're trying to sell a car with a check engine light on.
yeah,
Get one of your buddies at a garage, or maybe they have a code reader. Yo, clear this code. They clear it. In swoops, here you come. Hey, this is a real nice car. Hey, look, runs just fine. No check engine light. Please don't turn on. Please don't turn on. Please don't turn on. You start the car, you're like, this is great. And that's what I'm getting at. The fact that face value, look how good this car runs.
2 miles down the road. What the fuck?
Check engine light
wheels
turns
fall
on.
off. You're like, ah.
You touched it last.
Yeah. I guess
It almost, because
it's a good analogy.
What I'm getting at is, so when outside looking in, hey, look at America. This beautiful, the car is America. Okay, you look at the car, looks great on the outside.
Right.
Maybe a few dings, but we got guys at the body shop fixing it as we speak. You're looking at them fixing it.
Mm.
Then you're like, oh well, I want to see what goes on behind the doors. Maybe pop the hood. You open the door. All
Never
right.
mind the man behind the curtain.
All right. Well, maybe there's a little tear.
How many
in the
times
seat.
can I make that reference?
There's a little tear in the seat, but you know what? It looks a little worn in, and a little smear, some stains on the doors, handle, the roof. But hey, for a 20-year-old car, it is what it is.
Right.
You're like, all right, not as pretty in here as it looks outside, but you know what? Everything looks solid. Let's pop the hood. You pop the hood. It's like, oh wow, the engine looks like it's got some miles on it. It needs good engine cleaning. Looks like a aluminum piece of aluminum foil over the window coolant, the window washer reservoir with a rubber band around it.
Well, I was gonna say the.
But it's kind of sketchy. But let me test the windshield wipers. Yeah, it still works. All right, you know what? That's not that bad.
Mm.
But what happens inside the engine that you don't see?
Right.
Why are those codes getting thrown on the check engine on the dashboard? Whoa, don't
Oh shit! The gasket needs to be replaced.
clear that code.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see it. I feel like that's what you're describing to me.
I mean,
We are
maybe
seeing
in not so many words. Yeah.
people are trying to, the government's trying to, hey, look, this is what's really going on, but you don't see what's going on internally.
Yeah, and like when they released the JFK files this week.
Yeah, what's that about?
After,
I actually have been avoiding that subject because I wanted you to shed light on it.
I haven't been avoiding it just because I've been sucked up in this. Like I was like, I don't fucking have time to go through 81,000 fucking pages. Like I'm like I saw that. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for someone else to break that down. Just it's like I'm not reading through all that shit.
You were my breakdown waiting.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to wait another week. What I do know is actually my father stopped by and I said it's like one of these days we're gonna have to get on the pie. He's like, yeah, but it's so late. I'm like, well, that's just convenience for me and Charlie because of scheduling. I go, but I'll do
We do a mid Saturday.
Yeah, I was like 1 in the afternoon for something if you want. It's fine by me. But we got talking about stuff like that, and I gave him a real brief synopsis of everything I just fucking dumped on you. But then we got talking about
dumped it on my chest.
we got talking about the JFK files. I'm like, I haven't even fucking had time to look at that. He goes, oh, I have. I go, and he goes, we'll just say it was internal. I go, I think everyone knew that without knowing it, and that would be more like, yes, it was internal. I was like, I know. It's like that one really flamboyant friend you have, and like 10 years later, he's like, I'm gay. He's like, we know. Kind of like that kind of thing.
Oh, I'm supposed to be surprised? Try again. I'm gay.
I can't
Can I
fake
finish,
it. I'm
like-
sorry.
Can I finish doing what I was doing? You literally opened the door while I was masturbating and taking a shit to tell me you were gay. God, it's not always about you.
That was the best time. Yeah, well, you know.
It's been a few weeks, people.
Had to get
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, everybody?
We never even said hello to the fucking family.
What's going on, everybody?
Oh,
Welcome.
we're out of rehab.
That was my intro. Fucking 40-minute intro.
We had an intervention. I went away to rehab. Really?
Yes.
We talked about dying earlier today and how that would make you completely debt free.
That's true. That is true. Why? Well,
any debts you did have are no longer yours to worry about. They're the next of kins. Trust me.
yeah. So back in the
CDO,
JFK thing.
CMO. Oh, JFK. Yeah, no, that's. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Like you said,
like I'm.
I was expecting some crazy shit like, fucking.
Without
Nepal hired Israel to do the JFK assassination just to disrupt American politics for something for them to have a reality TV show.
Well, I don't know about the reality TV show, but I don't think that's far from. If I heard it right, I don't think that's far from what actually happened.
What, Nepal?
No.
Israel?
No. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
About Israel, but
Why I made the joke about that because I had heard some rumors and I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. I want to find out. But
so yeah, that's gonna have to be something that hopefully, unless something else fucking.
You know what we ought to do?
That I deep dive in that.
What we ought to do is take an episode to literally read out loud, verbatim, word for word, every page.
Holy shit balls! 81. This will be a fucking 40-hour episode. We're doing a telethon, everybody. No, but
Page
actually
3,702.
Twoo.
Can I get the pee bucket again before I start?
We're going all the way.
Mommy's special boy. Good job. We gotta get Ma to do it for us.
Man!
That's a good boy.
All honor and everything.
I think she'd set us on fire before she stayed in the room for that.
Yeah, that's true. Right. So,
Yeah.
I'm without knowing anything on the files and everything. I'm staunchly I stand on the hill of CIA did it, and it was definitely another person. And I think actually in the papers it did say there was another person, another gunman. Which that's another one where like, what? You don't fucking say. Yeah, but I don't know enough. I wanted to look into that, but I'm like, that's too much. This came up too, and I'm like, there's a lot to fucking take in because I'm not like a financial whatever. I pay attention to the stock market, but as far as going into all this shit, I'm like, all right, well, I guess we're gonna fucking learn today.
His wife is dead, right?
Ooh,
JFK's wife.
yeah.
Could you imagine, like, living out the rest of her life? Oh, Lee Harvey Oswald, you're a terrible man. Gets to heaven. It wasn't him, motherfucker. And the heaven gates closes, and we don't get to hear what she says. If that's where they went, if that's what you believe.
Initially, what I was going to cover was I told you the Ukraine thing.
Oh,
because that's another one though where I was actually talking with my father again, and he's like that. Russia isn't the problem. Like China's the problem. I go, I think that's what a lot of people who pay attention know. Like, Russia's loud. China's fucking dangerous. Like, Russia. Everyone's like, Russia. I'm like, Russia's not the fucking problem here. Like, Russia may be a problem, but is not the problem. China's the fucking problem. And, like, nobody's batting an eyelash to them. Like, they're crazy. They're the one they will go scorched earth. Whereas Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump, both very staunch and stubborn in their own right, they both look at each other and be like, you're not budging. So they just kind of exist. China's be like, fuck you, I'll bring everyone down. They're dangerous. And they will. Dangerous. But nobody talks about that. But yeah, so I had the idea, I'm like,
Scorch my earth.
I was like, I was going to go ahead, look at it. I was going to cover the whole story of Ukraine and Russia going all the way back to the 50s. Like, what I got without reading through a whole bunch of shit is, like, NATO and Russia had a deal with them when they were still the USSR. It's like, listen, NATO's not going to move an inch further east. And they started to, more and more countries started joining NATO. And then when USSR broke up into Russia, these countries that bordered Russia, some started to join NATO, which touched the borders of Russia, they were an adversary. what would we do if Afghanistan or China suddenly bought up part of Mexico that was touching Texas?
Yeah.
Fuck no. So everything that's transpiring isn't all Russia. It's both sides. That's what I was going to cover. And there's so much fucking more, but that's just quick of what I was going to cover. But again, since this Ukraine-Russia war started a couple years ago, it just hasn't been on my radar. I don't know if it was a gut feeling, whatever. I'm like, I don't see this as being as big as the news wants it to be.
Oh, man,
But I'm
I
like,
don't know why.
But I'm like, fuck it. It's been 2 years. I'm like, let's fucking cover it. We mention it here and there and stuff, but it never, like, every time I see something, it's, oh, Ukraine's like, all right, there it is.
God, show me where the bad man touched you.
Yeah.
Boy, who cried wolf.
Stop. Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
Stop, collaborate, and listen. NATO's back with a brand new condition.
And then when I finally go to cover the shit and this drops, I'm like, holy shit, bye, Ukraine. Oh, that was my chance.
We finally hit the big time. We made it on the Tikigodstudios podcast.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, Ukraine.
Yeah.
I have to wait another day.
Yeah. So,
Nah, that's fucking crazy, dude.
I was like, whatever. I'm going to cover that. You see, I think was it Joy Reid got canned?
Oh,
Yeah.
the CBS, no, the MSNBC chick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
She
that.
got canned. I think that's
Like,
my original notes.
Can there. Like, not even just like suspended.
Yeah, here's my original notes. And I like, oh, I got to scrap all this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Joy Reid got canned. She's going to Harvard. Oh, yeah, outright said she only got into Harvard because of affirmative action. Rachel Maddow releasing 2 anchors of color is indefensible, calling MSNBC a racist. And then she continues to work for the company. Yeah, like, wait a minute. You...
Oh, God.
Oh. Oh, yeah, so Trump had a response. I'm going back, and now this is kind of catch up, but it is catch up. Trump's response to the whole like releasing was so let's see, low-life chairman of Comcast, Brian Roberts, the owner of ratings challenged NBC and MSDNC, has finally gotten the nerve to fire one of the least talented people in television, the mentally obnoxious racist Joy Reid. Based on her ratings, which are virtually non-existent, she should have been canned long ago, along with anyone else who works there. Also thrown out was Alex Wagner, the sub on the seriously failing Rachel Maddow show. Rachel rarely shows up because she knows there's nobody watching, and she also knows she's got less talent, less TV persona than virtually anyone on television except perhaps Joy Reid. Then there's, of course, the low-IQ conman Al Sharpton, who has perhaps the lowest TV ratings in the history of television. What is he doing to Brian Roberts to stay on the air? This whole corrupt operation is nothing more than an illegal arm of the Democratic Party. They should be forced to pay vast sums of money for damage they've done to our country. Fake news is an unpardonable sin. Trump just fucking doesn't care.
It's like, fuck you, bitches.
It's like, whew, jeez Louise. Oh, that's another one too. The Epstein files evidently are. Oh, they were going to start releasing those too a couple weeks ago, and it was a New York. I think it's. Oh, the FBI seems to be actively blocking it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Would you want your director or assistant director or any of your agents?
Yeah, Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a fiery letter to FBI Director Kash Patel on Thursday accusing federal investigators of New York of withholding thousands of pages of the Jeffrey Epstein documents she has vowed to make public. Bondi said she had requested the full Epstein case file before Patel was confirmed as the head of the FBI and received about 200 pages of files, far less than the number of pages released last year to a civil lawsuit connected to the Ghislaine Maxwell, the trafficker and former lover of the convicted accomplice. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents, Bondi wrote.
No, they
late
didn't.
yesterday. Yeah, I know, 200 pages. I'm like, that's like a children's, not like a young adult novel.
No, that's like a grade school,
Right.
5th grade reading level book.
Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. She said the FBI had never disclosed the existence of those files and demanded that they be turned over by Friday morning. This is February 28th. So, and I know that I guess the director of the FBI for New York has been forced to resign. I think I heard that yesterday because of everything's going on. But I mean, if you the whole thing's a fucking mess. Yeah, the FBI will deliver a full, complete Epstein files to my office, including records, documents, audio, video recordings, materials. That better end up on the hub. It better be its own category.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if it should be on the hub. Wait, hold on. No. I don't know if it should be on the hub because if anybody's search pops up Epstein on the hub, flag.
Yeah.
Open the door. Hello, hi, I'm Chris Hansen. Close.
You're probably right.
Speaking of which, I heard a funny bit on the radio show the other morning. One of the hosts was saying to the other, you know, what reality show do you think you could have been in? You would have been real good in. Well, as a joke, one of the hosts goes, I think I would have been great on To Catch a Predator. Wait, did you want what? Did you? It was, yeah, no, I just saw myself being like the stool. Yeah, I'm where the pedophile, I'm where the pervert, no, I'm where the predator sits in the show. I'm great.
I'd be like, I think you should be investigated. How many microwaves do you have?
It was funny because as soon as he said it, it's like, the whole cast, the whole radio show cast was like, what side did you want to be on? He's like, neither. I just want to be the stool. I think I'd make a great stool in that show. What the fuck?
What else? The left have been firebombing Tesla stations and cars and all that shit. Mm-hmm. You know, the party of love and tolerance. You know what's funny? Go back, 20 years at this point. And the left was all about small government, preaching about corruption in government, like dismantling corruption in government, and go green. Al Gore. The ice caps are going to be gone in 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
25 years ago.
And they're still there.
Fast forward to 2025, okay? The same group, air quotes, at least in name, are firebombing the products of a company who is probably the biggest fucking green company you could possibly have out there, to a man who is dismantling corruption in government.
I saw.
Wait a minute. Now, what the fuck?
I saw a TikTok and I wanted to send it to you, and I kind of wish I had now at this point.
Yeah, I started looking at my TikTok a little bit here and there again. Like, I'm like, maybe I should put fucking clips on it again. I don't know. We'll see.
It was 1998. In 20 years, we'll have flying cars. 2018, we are literally telling people, do not eat Tide Pods.
Actually, it's funny. Right along, it's
stupid.
That's like this is the same temperature as that. I just saw a comment on one of the videos I was watching before you got here, and it said, in 1999, don't talk to the homeschool kids, they're weird. 2025, the public school kids are identifying as cats.
It's funny because it's true.
Yeah, so...
Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, yeah. Death threats on Reddit.
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that.
We talked about it a little bit before, but they just keep getting crazier and crazier. It's funny because this is 100% coming from one side of the aisle, because you don't really see it at all. We were talking about the normies. You don't really see it on this side. You see it on the other side.
Mm-hmm. It's fucking.
Which is, here's, the more this happens, it's just gonna fucking, there's gonna be more spying and shit on people. There's gonna be more Patriot Act, more and more and more and more. So it's fucking.
So wait, hold on. Now that you say it like that, that's wow. Actually, that just triggered a thought. Hard thought too. Damn. I mean, like, this is one erect thought. Are they acting crazy because are they acting in such a manner because they're genuinely crazy, or because they know that at one point or another, with as crazy as they can push it, they'll eventually get their way, like Patriot Act, allowing them to spy on us, taking away stuff because look, they're proving the point.
Nope. And I'll tell you why. And I heard this put this way a few days ago. The left, current left especially, is the party. The right is this, we'll say party, like a better term, of basically standing for something, like fighting for, like, moral ground. I don't want to say moral ground because that's usually said in jest, but they have some kind of morality, family, taking care of this group of people, whatever it is, right? The left, seemingly as of late, is the party of constant revolution. They always have to have something. We are rebelling against this, we are rebelling against that, and we need to bring everything down. But if you notice, what's always like joked about and everything before, it's like, oh, it's this bunch of these women, feminists, fifth wave feminists, and like the alphabet community and whatever, all this kind of stuff are in constant revolution, and they're constantly bringing in new things. Oh, you're being oppressed because of this. You're being oppressed because of that. And the government they're bad for this. They're the
hippies from the 60s.
Their government is out of office and the new one's in. And now they've focused from business owners to government, because it's business owners now and government they don't like. If they got their way with everything that's going on right now, there would be something else. The same group of people would focus on something else. Because the political party, their, I don't want to say libertarianism, but their progressive leftism is their religion. Because there is no religion generally on that side of the aisle. Their religion is what they're fighting for, the party. And we need a revolution here or here or here. There'll always be something.
Yeah.
So, no, if they get their way, no, it's not going to be any flexing. It's not going to be, oh, we find. There'll be something else. Always will be.
No, but
that's the problem.
Well, maybe I said it wrong. I think, are they doing what they're doing to get what they want?
No.
Because, well, no.
Like I said, no, because there'll be something else.
Yeah, and then they'll go as crazy as they need to get what they want in that situation. Well, then when they get what they want, well, now we got to be crazy about getting this in, and then we got to go crazy.
Exactly, yes. It'll always be something.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do you think that's just their tact? Like, they're really not that crazy?
I don't know why. If that's what you're asking,
that makes sense.
I don't know. Good question.
I mean, if you want to be the only kid heard in class, let's say you're in a school, you're in a class in school. And you want to be the only kid who has all the right answers. You only want the teacher to call on you. Well, the teacher doesn't believe in that. The teacher believes in equality. The teacher believes in equality and calls on all the students. Right. So you become disruptive. While other kids are yelling at you to stop being disruptive. So now the teacher cracks down and says, look, nobody may talk unless you have the talk pass.
Oh, yes, melon salts.
Mm-hmm. So now, okay, you guys are all mad at me, huh? Well, guess what? Now if we all want to talk, we all have to have a talk pass. So I got a talk pass. I can say the crazy things I want. Now the kid gets a talk pass. Well, that's not fair. No, I didn't get to finish talking. Now they got to act crazy again and have the teacher put another rule on it. Even though everybody's like, hey, look, we're not being dicks. We're doing this. You got these people. Well, this, and this. Well, we're gonna the dividing, the deciding, the powers that be go, look, enough stupid shit. We're gonna put this across the board. This should make them happy and get these guys to give them their chance. Well, yes. Now they get what they want a little bit, but they got what they want a little bit. Now they want the next big thing, so they do it again.
Yes, But not in nowadays, this day and age, yes, until you get the very last part, because they don't want the other side to have what they want. They just don't. So, otherwise, yes. Going back to, yeah, just like the death threats and everything on the left. I thought this was special. I guess on, I don't know, one of these late night shows or something like that, they had a video of what the fuck? Oh, this Mitsubishi.
The Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Mitsubishi commercial.
Yep. Dirty Vegas. Days Go By. It's the name of the band and the song. And it was for the 2003 or 4 Mitsubishi Eclipse commercial.
Okay, well, it's not loading the video I want to load, so.
Days when, then there was the bleeper of a blooper. Chappelle. See that? See that face?
That's a bleeper. A blooper. A bleeper of a blooper.
I tried to say that. I'm like, come on, titty.
Let's see.
Oh, God. I wonder if you can still find that video. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Let's find out. Yeah.
I think this is it right here.
I'm searching shit now.
To sell shit to the American people. Why are you so hungry for mass approval when you should be hungry?
No, that's not it. Is this one it? This one?
They're taking to the streets or the parking lots. Tonight, the FBI and ATF now investigating multiple cases of possible arson targeting Teslas and Cybertruck. This dramatic video shows multiple cars in flames. Police say the attacker used Molotov cocktails. They're taking to the street.
So the point of that was the studio audience, while they're showing videos of Tesla cars burning and stuff, and they just start clapping and cheering and everything. I'm like, where the fuck are we? Like, what fucking world do we live in? Like, wait, did that just happen? To be fair, what's his face here in the Daily Show? Whatever his name is, I don't know. I don't watch the Daily Show. He did at the end be like, listen, we shouldn't cheer for something like this. Like, you can not like somebody, but it's kind of fucked up. So yeah, there's the left firebombing, all that shit. You know how, like, in our conversations and stuff, we've talked about, like, the saying, you will live in the pod and you will eat the bugs. Mm-hmm. Right? You're already eating the bugs. Sort of. Well, yes, you are in one instance. First is like, all right, so you've heard like red dye 40, right?
Yeah.
It's like the whatever, the South American beetles, whatever they're called. Being like red dye derived from petroleum, coal products, while cochineal is a natural dye derived from cochineal insects, wingless, flat, soft-bodied, scaly insects that feed on prickly pear cacti. They're harvested, dried, and crushed to produce the carmic acid, which is used to make this natural dye. So there's that. But there's something new that they're doing. Well, I can't even say it's new. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but now people are like, wait a minute, they're fucking what? You remember, not this summer, but the summer before, when we were on the compound? You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you remember when I brought the treats for us to eat?
Yeah.
The crickets?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay. Actioprotein, or actioprotein, which is a protein derived from crickets. Crickets are edible insects that are being increasingly popular as a sustainable and nutritious food source. The actioprotein is provided or obtained by grinding crickets into a powder It is complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids. Additionally, this protein is rich in vitamins, minerals, and fibers that is now becoming an ingredient in a lot of different foods that you are regularly eating. So the saying, you will live in the pod and eat the bugs, it's you will live in the pod because you are already eating the bugs.
We started it all.
Oh, shit.
We were finally trendsetters.
Why is it always the bad trends? Why is it always the bad news?
I know.
Everyone's going to win. Actually, everyone evidently is going to win money from the whole
Yeah.
Doge findings and everything.
They hit they hit their goal.
But I guess now, did they hit?
Apparently, yeah.
'Cause I thought they were still like far off from it. But first, it was supposed to be 5,000 a person. Yeah, because we did the calculation. Like, that doesn't fucking make sense. But I guess now they're saying, well, it'll be 9,000 a person or a family or whatever the fuck. I'm like, where are you getting the money from?
Show me the money.
But again, that to me is just more, look over here. Look at the shiny. Oh, and most of America goes, wow.
Well,
and there's a handful of people, and be like, the fuck is that thing? Get that. Why is that out of your pants?
joke's on you. I'm going to use the pay off debt.
Ends up being, actually what'll happen is they'll pay that out, and then the fiat dollar fucking crashes. Damn it. Yeah, but
I'll buy $9,000 worth of gold bars or silver coins.
I was going to say, you're not going to get much. 9,000.
Silver.
Silver, you get more, yeah.
It'll go up.
What, the silver? Yeah.
Especially when everything reverts back to the gold standard. Come on.
This is another thing we got talking about today, is the whole fiat currency crashing and everything, and just watching Trump. And my dad's very staunch, and we're like, there's a lot of yellow flags right now with Trump and Elon in regards to getting rid of, I guess, tangible currency and going to a digital. I'm like, yeah, so when I piss off the government, they can shut my bank account down and be like, going to the gulag. See you in the gulag. I was like,
in the gulag.
I just don't like that at all.
Looking forward to it.
But I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to watch your president. Like, you vote for who you want in office, you get him in office, and a problem, like in this day and age, nobody's paying attention to politics anymore. Because to them, the job's done. All right, Trump's in office. Now everything's going to be fixed. No. What you're supposed to do is vote for him, get him in office, and then watch him like a fucking hawk. And be like, what the fuck are you doing? What's this? Stop doing that shit, you fuck. No one wants to do that, though. But you see it every election cycle. As soon as, like, all the hoopla's done, like, the numbers for election, like, anyone who watches any kind of shit like this, just, it goes down. Because nobody wants to pay attention. Because it's a lot of work. It's work.
I got what I wanted, and now I have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's right of, like, reading. It's reading so much. It's
Can I get the audio
there's
and play it while I sleep?
That
counts?
That's called podcasting. And nobody fucking listens to it.
Because then I have to...
This says it's 20 minutes.
Oh, can you put it in, like, 2-minute TikTok form? My attention span barely good enough for that.
I should just start doing that.
I gotta go do something. Bye.
Every TikTok video I put up, go, we're fucked. Everybody's fucked. And just upload that. Oh, geez, it must be bad. Time for bed.
We should make it a point to at least make the joke. We're fucked.
I'm gonna
go back and forth.
Yeah.
Go back and forth. So one TikTok video it's you. We're fucked. The next video it's me. We are so fucked.
That'll be like that's what I'll do for TikTok from now on.
And every episode, that's all it'll be. We are fucked. No, Ukraine. We are fucked. Doge. We are fucked. Loans. We are fucked.
Yeah.
It's all like 30-second clips. Wow, these guys have a lot of videos. I better watch them all. Thank God they're not more than 30 seconds. We are fucked. What happens on the next TikTok video? We are fucked. I love this show already.
This show's awesome. I have to rename it. We are fucked. Get fucked. Yeah, so lastly, on this list, is, well, I can't really fucking put this down because I can open this up. This is more going beyond the scope of like what's going on in America and whatever. Oh yeah, we're at war with Canada and all that shit too.
We're not at war with Canada.
Yeah, who the fuck knows?
We're having a pissing match with Canada.
That's pretty much what it is.
Because if we go to war with Canada, half their army's going to be like, oh, shit, I didn't know we had to grab a gun, eh? I guess I better go back and get mine. Wait 5 minutes, guys. I'm really sorry to keep you waiting, but about that, I'll be back, eh? And then we'll really fight, okay?
Yeah, and Maple
you don't
Leafs.
mind waiting, do you? All right. Oh, you do mind waiting? Here, let me buy you lunch. I'll go back to my country, get my gun. We'll come back, and we'll have a right foul war. All right. Sorry to keep you waiting.
It'll be the 51st state. That'll never happen.
And here we are. Motherfuckers, every time. Well, might as well get a burger.
Poutine? Oh, but yeah, so whatever the fuck's going on there. That's whatever. But beyond all that hoopla, I think that's like the third time I've used that today.
Hoopla!
That's my word today.
Hoopla!
So, scientists, and this was discovered a couple of years ago.
Is that what we're talking about? The pointy objects in the sand?
Scientists say they've discovered a vast city underneath Egypt's Giza pyramids.
Not a city. Well, I don't know about the Giza pyramids, but
But
with LiDAR. Go ahead, sorry.
that's an old one that needed peer review. That's why it was kind of put on hold for a while until lately. Experts raised concerns. The groundbreaking discovery from the Daily Mail beneath the Egyptian pyramids has taken the world by storm. Italian researchers claim to have undiscovered a vast underground city
what?
which stretches...
Undiscovered?
Uncovered, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I mean,
no.
it was undiscovered until...
Okay, no. It's like he mixed two sentences.
Yes, which stretches more than 44,000 feet directly under the pyramids of Giza, making them 10 times larger than the pyramids themselves. The bombshell claim, which many experts claim to have already debunked, comes from a study that used radar pulses to create high-resolution images deep into the ground beneath the structures. The same way sonar radar is used to map depths of the ocean. The paper, which has not been peer-reviewed by independent experts, found 8 vertical cylindrical shaped structures extending more than 2,100 feet below the pyramid and more unknown structures 4,000 feet deeper. It's about, a kilometer or 2 kilometers?
About 2 kilometers.
Press release described the findings as groundbreaking, if true, and could rewrite history of ancient Egypt. However, independent experts have raised serious concerns about the study. Now, if you look at the picture of... There's a diagram. There it is. If you look at the picture of the structures beneath the pyramids and you look at the actual pyramid itself and the internal workings of it, there was a theory that's been running around for a while before this. It looks like the cells of a battery. And if you pay attention, a lot of people have talked about this. This has been studied, and there's been a lot of documentaries about it. The waterways that have run under the pyramids are what were waterways because of the erosion, seemingly water erosion, especially on the Sphinx and everything else, running under the pyramids. And the way these structures have set up, it looks exactly like, and engineers would be like, that's a battery. And the way they're positioned, apparently on the globe, what were they powering? And it's been said too, a lot of people are like...
We were somebody's portable charger.
Well, it was... We aren't... Because a lot of people are like, is this like a lost technology? Which I think it was. Because I don't think people nowadays are smarter than they were back then. I just think we know more shit. And by that I mean, back in those days, you could know everything in the world because that's what was discovered. Nowadays, there's just too much shit to fucking know. but your intelligence and your capability to learn things and your compatibility for whatever you know is the same as it was back then. Like, you can know just as much then as you can now. So the intelligence level hasn't really been risen. It's just, we just happen to have discovered a lot more since then. So the possibility of, yeah, maybe there is a lot of lost technologies because they found a fucking computer from 4,000, 5,000, whatever years ago. It was a mechanical computer. Remember the gears and shit in it?
Oh, yeah. It was found underwater.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's been found. So there was plenty of, they had calculators back then. Obviously not Casio calculators or something, but they had, the knowledge was there. It's just technology and everything, just more has been learned since.
What one was that? Hold on. I don't remember that. I'm going to look that up really quick. Keep talking.
All right. So Professor Conyers said it's conceivable that there are small structures such as shafts and chambers beneath the pyramids that exist before they were built because the site was special to ancient people. He highlighted how the Mayans and other people in ancient Mesoamerica often built pyramids on top of the entrances of caves or caverns that had ceremonial meaning to them. The work by Corrado Malanja from Italy's University of Pisa, the Egyptologist University. Scotland's only been released during the in-person briefing in Italy this week and yet to be published in a scientific journal where it would need analysis by independent experts.
The ancient computer, the Antikythera mechanism, a 2,000-year-old hand-powered device discovered in a Roman-era shipwreck near the Greek island of Antikythera in 1901. It's considered the world's oldest known analog computer,
right,
and was used to predict astronomical events and other cycles.
Right.
The nature of the device, it's a complex bronze device with bronze, not bronze. It's a complex bronze device with dozens of gears.
Bronx is fucking old.
And is thought to have been used to predict eclipses and other astronomical events. The purpose is theorized. The mechanism could track the cycles of the solar system, including the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, as well as predict eclipses.
So that was how many years ago?
2000. It's based from 2,000 years ago. But it was discovered in 1901, so 124 years ago.
Yeah, but it was, actually created 2,000 years ago.
Over 2,000 years ago.
So that was 2,000 years. That was, the
first handheld analog computer.
So to say that, to say that, well, we're more intelligent now. It's like, no, we've discovered a lot of things in that fucking time frame. It's possible that technologies have been long lost since. So when you look at like the
that's the picture I saw.
Yeah, for pyramids, I was like, boy, that looks an awful lot like a battery, and waterways and everything going through. It was Gilligan's Island on a massive fucking scale. There's no coconut. It's limestone.
Hold on, you just made me think of something.
And they had what, copper and like copper wiring running through. I can't remember what the fucking pots were made out of, with like water vinegar solution that could generate electricity.
Yeah. Well, the Baghdad battery, don't forget that.
What the hell is that?
Hold on. Remind me in a second after I explain this.
I've heard of it.
So really quick, the Dendara light motif found in the Temple of Hathor at Dendara depicts a bulb-like object, sometimes interpreted as a possible depiction of an early light bulb. Hold on, how old?
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what I was describing, the Baghdad battery. Yeah, a clay jar, copper cylinder, and iron rod. Yeah, so the crazy fucking technology's been around for thousands of years, quite literally. And then also something I asked, which kind of goes along with this, because there's always
Okay,
like, that
so-
wasn't people, this ancient aliens.
But well, hold on. So the depiction, the Dendera light bulb depiction relief, the depiction is dated around 51 BC, so over 2,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a picture of, and now they're trying to say it was a possible depiction of someone, what they thought the goddess of light emerging from the earth would look like. That's what somebody, like their interpretation is like. So like if you tell me to draw my interpretation of a Skeksis, I could draw a little stick figure with a huge dick and a sword cutting a rock and say, "Oh, there's my depiction of a Skeksis."
Right.
You asked me to draw my depiction of God. I could just draw some fucking little Korean boy fucking chomping on an ear of corn. This is my depiction of God. That was the theory is, well, the belief is that was what somebody depicted the act of the goddess of light emerging from Egypt would look like. Something in the shape of a light bulb with a coil and a wire plugging into a box. Yeah, it makes sense. They were pretty finicky.
Aliens. Let's say ancient aliens. No,
The show.
aliens.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I love that show for two reasons. One, helps me fall asleep because I've watched the series enough times.
Everyone's got their comfort show.
And I've watched it enough awake to now be like, oh, I remember this episode,
Right.
and I'm listening and I'm drawing.
That's like sightings for me.
But I like watching that show because it does, regardless of whether you believe in aliens or not. In the time frame that is documented for some of these like these grand marvels to have occurred, the way things were meant, where they got the materials, the time it took them, you're talking about even back then. So, like, for example, the medieval times, they say humans were bigger. Do you know why? Do you know what?
Bigger as in
Like just thicker, stronger,
Bulky, okay.
bigger, taller.
were they?
There's
I don't
theories.
know. I watch Monty Python.
There's theories that because of what they've found, like ancient like bows and shit, the way they were made, the weight of the ancient swords,
Right.
in order
The
for
broadsword's fucking heavy.
yeah, like there are professional bodybuilders, professional power lifters that
Oh, yeah.
find using these objects strenuous. And these are guys like Eddie Hall or The Mountain or whatever that lift fucking 1,000 pounds deadlift like it's
Also a
nothing.
different kind of lift. Like
Regardless.
Right.
They should still be able to pull back a regular original bow.
Right.
But they're like, these guys are having a hard time doing this shit. So the theory is, in order to have used that technology of that date back then, humans had to be bigger and stronger. Maybe not smarter, but whatever. Regardless. Reverse all the way back now to like Stonehenge, the pyramids of Giza,
Mm-hmm.
the what are they called? The Tiki heads, Pompeii or whatever? No, Easter Island.
All right.
Okay, like where are these? How did these get here? Because like apparently one of the things I remember reading. Don't fact check. Don't quote me.
Don't
on this.
fact check.
No, don't quote me.
Take
on
our
this.
word for it.
Don't quote me on this. Fact check me if you will. This way, if I'm wrong, I can be corrected. But if I'm correct, the Easter Island stoneheads, that's stone that wasn't even indigenous of that area.
That's happened with a lot of different.
So when you find where these stones come from, halfway around the world, 1,000 miles away, whatever it may
Right.
be, and then you find the documented hit tellings of like these times when this thing was going on. Like even in record keep, like even the people who built the fucking pyramids kept records of this shit apparently. You know, the amount of time it took, like you're expecting me to believe that Even now with today's technology, it would take us months, if not years, to build these structures. But these guys had this shit done in like the same amount of time.
No, I think it took decades for them to build those. Like the Great Pyramids?
Yeah.
That was decades, if not longer.
So one pharaoh decided to build a pyramid and didn't even get to live to see it finish?
Yeah, because it was...
Wow, what a fucking what a wasted
That
life.
sucks. It was the divine thing. That was more to like, Ra. There was...
Wow, I bet you felt like you really wasted your life. I'm going to be the pharaoh that dedicates a pyramid to Anubis.
Hey, look at that.
My great-great-grandson ends up seeing it finished. While I'm in fucking
Yeah, all right. It took
cat heaven or whatever.
Well, it took about 20 years with a workforce of approximately 20,000 laborers. Yeah. One block was placed every 4.6 minutes. That's fucking insane. God, and you can get people to work to sweep floors and drive truck now.
Shit, I'll place a block every 5 minutes for fucking
Yeah.
the rest of my life.
The pyramid is composed of over 2.3 million stone blocks with an average of one block being placed every 4.6 minutes.
How big were the blocks?
Fucking huge. Like, I'm talking the size of this room and bigger.
See, if you were going to say they were like fucking a foot by a foot.
No.
Fuck, give me 20 years. I'll build a goddamn pyramid in our backyard. But that's what I'm saying. How do you get... Dude, could you imagine what a block this room would weigh? And you expect me to believe that, 100 people were able to move it in 4.5 minutes?
All right, so the average core stones were 1.27 by... Yeah, so about 5 feet by 5 feet.
Okay, now if you had 100 people with ropes
by 3 feet. So yeah, so the density of each, this is the core ones, or 140 pounds by, all right.
Wait, you're telling me a stone block, 5 feet long, 5 feet wide.
No, each one was 5.5, 5,511 pounds per stone. All right, the bottom layer, of course, is about 3 times as high as the upper layer.
Yeah.
Let's see. Granite blocks from Aswan weighing up to 80 tons for the King's Chamber.
Hold on, I got this. I got one. Who is the
Average weight was 1.5 to 2.5 tons each block.
Stone garden built by one man. This is the one too, Mr. Coral Castle. You ever hear about that one?
I don't think so. I might have seen it, but...
Okay, so the Stone Garden, Coral Castle, a unique structure in Homestead, Florida, built single-handedly by Edward Leedskellnen, a Latvian immigrant over 28 years using coral rock and simple tools. So this guy...
Oh, nice. What the fuck? That's impressive.
Oh, you're looking at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 28 years, one guy. He built that. You mean to tell me it only... Wow. Yeah. And I guess a lot of that wasn't originally there. He had it brought in.
Probably. Yeah, but...
And a 9-ton gate that could be opened with a single finger.
Pushing the button that turns it on. I can do everything with this finger. Wife looking at him like,
And a 5,000-pound stone. So this guy single-handedly
oh, it's closed.
built this place with only tools.
Should call him right now. Hey, you're live on the air.
Sure as fuck dead.
What'd you do?
He said he wanted to get stoned.
What the fuck? Terrorist.
I meant smoked weed.
Oh.
He was allergic. I didn't know.
Yeah, so
I drove up to the emergency room door. I pushed him out and I drove off.
if it wasn't people, then it was definitely aliens. Which
Well, no, what I'm saying is whether you believe in aliens or not, there was some form of tech. Going back to the original part where you said lost tech.
yeah.
There's lost tech. There's got to be lost tech.
There is, like I said, that calculator, that piece of computer, the calculator, all the shit that we've already discovered. It's like there was obviously technologies that were lost in time. How, why, or whatever, I don't know. But they are out there.
We need to invent time travel. I really want to go back.
I think in theory, they said time travel going backward is possible. In theory, there's a few big hiccups that are in the way, but time travel going forward is not.
I would still go back and bang Cleopatra.
Because going
Natural bush.
going back in time is possible, but you have but the problem is the amount of power you would need to generate a singularity to do so is, and I probably said this before, but it's more power than our sun would ever give off in its entire lifespan. You'd have to have compressed into a fucking engine.
No, let's go, son. Fucking stop being lazy, just sitting there doing nothing.
Why don't you actually fucking do something?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Maybe we could turn her off once in a while. Or like AOC said, send some fucking people to the sun at night so it's cooler. They can find out how to get the energy. Didn't she say that?
Oh my god, I gotta look that up. Somebody said something like that, or maybe that verbatim. But yes, there was something fucking where you're like, oh my god, you're fucking retarded. Like,
Hold on, I got this.
okay.
I seem to be lucky tonight.
Someone said something like
Who
that.
said we should?
Good God, why? Every now and again, there's just a gold mine of one phrase. You're like, tell me it was The View. Oh, please. Oh, I was hoping. Hillary.
It was AOC.
Okay, yeah, that checks out. I was hoping it would be The View, but AOC was good second.
It's saying now it's fake though. It was a deep fake.
Oh, of fucking course it was. They CGI'd the audio.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah.
We should go to the sun at night when it's cooler, so we can study it.
She said it. I'm gonna say that. Whatever. She's a dumb fucking whatever.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly. Yeah. Whatever. Bye.